laner. Zeri is also going to be picked up to respond to the Xayah in the bot lane. And I think it's really interesting. I think both of these AD carries are going to have great positions in order to carry this game. I'm really curious to see Sword Blue locks in the Pike in that bottom lane, and that should be very exciting.
Yeah, Pike is definitely a pop-off player. I do think, though, that this is going to incentivize that Seraphine in the mid lane like you're talking about here. So this might be just a flex away from that support role as we have Zach. I mean, War Leader, you definitely know a lot about Zach here. So fill us in as soon as this gets locked in.
So I haven't been playing too much of the current season, but I know that Zach has been absolutely ridiculous. He was fantastic before all the jungle changes, one of the biggest beneficiaries of all the clearing changes, and so I'm not surprised to see Brian Sang, who is filling in this game for Rat's jungler of Red, and I'm really excited to see the Zach pick. It's very, very strong right now, and I'm not sure how familiar Brian Sang is on this pick, but if I remember right, Brian Sang was one of the people that was interested in a lot of Zach support, so I've got confidence in him on the champion.
Okay, and with that, the Thresh ban comes in. Definitely don't want anyone like Azera or Seraphine being saved by a Lantern, and it's going to further cement in Seraphine as, you know, a support role. They're trying to lock it in here. I do think they're going to flex away because Pike into Seraphine, not so pretty, especially if we have someone like Sword Blue piling that champion. I'm sure a lot of deadly hooks will be landing. So they're going to really pinch that pool as we go with that Yone being locked in. That engage, the bounce off from the Seraphine is going to be there, putting more threat onto Geico in the Xayah pick here. And so far, it looks like they're applying that strategy. Silas going to come out. I do think that something like Maokai or even Wukong is really good into the Zac to prevent that engage. So I'm sure you've been annoyed by those knock-up champions before. Really good at just completely stuffing Zac engage here. And so Silas ban, and it makes sense to me, like, hey, I want to pick Malphite, make sure they, or Maokai, make sure they don't get Silas to counter it.
Yeah, I think it's get a little leak. That's okay. I didn't see too much. Senna would be a really weird lock-in, but it is what they go for in that bottom side. It's going to be a Senna Zeri bottom lane, or unless that's going to be like Senna top or something. I think that pick is very, very strange, but I'd have to expect that Bow Explode on the Senna.
I don't like this at all. Not only is it susceptible to the Pike, there's like a lot of potential lockdown combos with Pike and Xayah. Very squishy champions in Zeri and Senna, and weak in lane. So I'm expecting a lot of bot pressure coming out from Rat here as they're finalizing their last pick. Zed, they feel comfortable picking that because of Zac in the jungle. I feel like there's going to be magic damage. I think they're probably going to go with magic as top as well here, but we'll see what they're going to do.
They have to. And Kaori Zed is very, very good. When I was playing with her, this was just the champion that when we got it in mid lane, it's just game over. It's the champion that she can take over games on, and I'm a little surprised to see it get this late. That being said, Pure Llama is a very strong mid laner, so we'll have to see how that mid matchup goes, but I'm very excited for that because of the champions involved.
Okay, and we're assuming this is last pick jungle, although, to be honest, quite weird to be holding on to it, especially at this point here. So Antunes, I think this is maybe a bit of a flustered draft. They are going to go eventually with the Maokai. I guess I should say wait before it gets locked in here. But I like the Maokai into the Zac. They definitely could have picked it earlier. I don't see any reason to hold on to it here, as we also have to talk about this Shen. So it looks like they're going to go for this early to mid game with the Shen combo. You could combo it off the Pike, Zac, or even the Zed for a real nice deep engage. All Xayah has to do is survive, and it's really going to be on the back line of Antunes to survive. And all they have for Peel is this Seraphine and this Maokai. So it's really going to be on who gets first engaged here, War Leader.
Yeah, these are going to be some very dynamic fights. Lots of teams have, both of these teams have the potential to blow each other up. If the fight does get extended, I think Antunes has a better composition to get into those long, drawn-out fights. But Rat has so many opportunities to get in, blow somebody up, and then it doesn't matter anymore. As soon as they can execute one of those core pieces in the back line, and champions like Zed and Pike and Zac are very, very good at doing that. And Antunes does have some peel tools, but it's nothing. It's nothing incredible.
Yeah, it's not something they could activate right away for instant peel. I could bring everyone's mind to the new champion of Melio. I almost said Milo, but Melio here. That's something that would be like instantaneous disengage, or Janna as well. But they don't have anything like that. Utility monster playing that Maokai, it's, it takes a bit of time for the disengage to come through. Same with the Seraphine. The charm isn't instantaneous, and so I think what we're hinting here, War Leader, is if Brian Sang, Cowrie, or Riri get onto the back line, I mean, they're pretty much just going to be dead, especially when they're not scaled in the mid game.
Yeah, definitely agree. Looks like we're getting a pretty calm level 1 here. Neither team willing to get engaged too much now, but Bo Expo did get down a ward in the rat bottom side jungle. Got an auto off, so technically, Antunes win the early game, but not much is happening here. And now we do see maybe a trap getting set up in the bot lane with Geico and Sword Blue hiding in the bushes here. I think Utility Monster is going to be pathing away and not towards that Gromp, so things could get dangerous down in this bottom side. If they're looking at the map, early.
There it is.
And Navi gets hooked in and is getting choked down, flash out early, exhaust onto Geico, and oh my goodness, Antunes, the bot lane's being sent home fast. And Navi chunks down to 20% or less, and this is what we said this bot lane can do.
Yeah, that is also a health pot being used just at level 1 Sword Blue. Look at this angle here, going for it again. Lands the hook explode.
Dead.
Oh, the HP
and
bar.
gone.
Yeah, we were really afraid of that War Leader. I think we were hitting it. We didn't think it was going to happen level 1. Maybe we're going to... we were saying, like, level 3, it's going to be really rough. Nope, starts straight from the beginning. Yeah, Cowrie. Wow, that is quite a low health bar there as Pure Llama with the range advantage. And now look at this. Pressure being used. Sword Blue coming to the mid lane.
Oh, this is that high elo macro coming in. Big hook lands. Cowrie's on top. Very low HP. But Pure Llama's out of mana. Ignite ticks. Cowrie flashes forward for the auto. Passive doesn't proc, but the Shuriken is going to take him down the mid lane. And Rat are up in most of the lanes in this early game. Looking good for them.
Yeah, there's the Death Star right to the back of the forehead there. Picks up the kill. And they're going to get the push here. The teleport going to come out as Cowrie does not have a teleport of their own. And so we'll be able to pick up CS. So not the worst death. However, that bot lane already, that pressure being spread over. And all Riri has to do here is just survive because the bot lane is so far ahead. Mid lane can keep pushing the advantage as well. As long as this continues, War Leader, like Riri just has to survive and then ultimate when his team needs a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, Riri in theory simultaneously has like the easiest and the hardest job at this point, because all they need to do is not make a mistake, but they're also the one that Antunes probably have to target at this point to try and get in the game. I think they have to try and play through burst limit, get them big enough to engage onto that backline. But Zaya's a slippery champion, and I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to do if Geico continues to get ahead.
Yeah, look at this attention towards the mid lane. They want to snowball the Zed, and it makes so much sense. Even putting stacks onto Cowrie from Sword Blue there. But yeah, Oriri in right now an easy position. When he gets dived, it's going to be a tough position. But into the Yone, I mean, Shen should be able to handle burst limit very early on here. Another engage coming out with level advantage.
Yeah, Bo Explode has to try and flash out. Here comes the hook.
Oh,
it's going to pull a Navi back in, and that means it's going to be a double kill going over to Geico. The bottom lane is a disaster. Utility Monster not there in time to make anything happen, and oh boy, this could get ugly.
Both of these junglers are not just power gankers. They have to farm. They really like to get level 5, and Maokai really loves level 6 before they can start affecting the map. So Utility Monster also path top, so this is a real tough position here because bot lane is bleeding so much. Burst limit going in on Oriri, but is actually losing out on the trade, and Oriri hasn't even used a spell there.
Yeah, Oriri just kind of chilled and hang out, and now is going to make sure that Burst limit recalls and shove in that wave. Burst limit going to have to teleport to the lane, and honestly, a very Just a strange trade from Burst Limit. Just, I guess, maybe trying to get a bunch of resources out if you've decided you're going to use that teleport. So it's going to be interesting. But now Brian Sang is available in this top side if Burst Limit decides to get scrappy. Going to walk right in. A Riri starts off with the engage, but Burst Limit dodging and weaving out from the CC. Finds another engage onto a Riri, and pop goes the Shen. Meanwhile, into the bot lane, we see Geico dishing out tons of damage. We're getting quite low, and the shutdown goes over to Anavi as the supports should walk away peacefully, but Bugsford wants in. And Burst Limit finds the double kill in the top lane, pan back to bottom. Supportal combat does get peacefully resolved. Overall, big win for Antunes across the board.
Yeah, that is a major comeback here, because if the game keeps going that way, it was going to be a closed game in about 4 more minutes. And so they're crawling their way back. They're fighting here. And that double kill on the top side, I mean, that is huge for Burst Limit. The Yone outscaling the Shen will be a huge deal. And I mean, that top side could be the game winner for Ant, because that's their only winning lane at the moment. I think with those double kills and with the boots coming out, I think Burst Limit might have an advantage over Oriri, including the skill factors, of course.
Yep, and Utility Monster getting a nice steal away on the blue, has the timer very well set up. And
they're respecting so much down here. I mean, just look at this.
They have to. They've fallen so far behind. I mean, the shutdown, it's really big to try and catch up, but it nowhere makes up for the deficit that they found themselves in.
And I'm wondering when they're going to start using this to activate those dragons. They want to stack them early. Sword Blue going in again.
Oh, exploded. Not long for this world. Getting hooked up, taken down. 4th kill over to Geico. Mid lane, Cowrie goes in, but a nice charm from Pure Llama. Will not matter. 2 more kills picked up for Rat, and they decided to, like, oh, we played around a little bit. Let's get right back to it and pick up some kills.
Yeah, that gold swinging right back. They're going to go for a dive here. They're going to miss the initial slingshot, but then the Stretching Strikes comes in into a nice combo, and that is the 80 carry being filled once again. They are basically... Yeah, this is... Oh, that chunk and the hook. Oh, boy. I mean, I can't... Is this disgusting? Is this beautiful? Is this terrible? Is this amazing, War Leader? It seems a mixed bags. Yeah.
It's clinical.
It's a combination of all three. And, I mean, they're behind in terms of objectives here, because you would think they would have secured one already, but they're so ahead in gold that it might not even matter at this point. They could just keep racking up that gold difference, and who cares about objectives? You'll just pick up Baron and win the game anyway. And so, I mean, look, Rat, they're in the driver's seat, War Leader. So Ant, they need to start figuring out a strategy, and I'm going to say specifically through Burst Limit and that top side.
Have to agree. Now, with Reset on the side of Rat, we see Eclipse picked up for Cowrie in the mid lane. We see the Gale Force with the completed boots for Geico in the bottom lane. Bow Explode, very happy to hit level 4, but oh goodness, Sword Blue's coming in. Might just be able to find the 1v2. Geico walking in as well, has Gale Force to close the gap, and Bow Explode just can't be there, and he's going to die again.
Well, we did say Senna was an awkward pick, and it's definitely proving true right here. The weakness of the Pyke is something I highlighted, and Sword Blue is taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, and we're just seeing a big exploitation down in the support position. We're seeing a challenger player versus an off-rolled platinum level player. Now, Utility Monster is looking for Cowrie in the middle lane. Zed's pretty slippery though, doesn't even have to burn the shadow, and Brian's saying going to pick up this first dragon, and Fertile Drake going over to already fed AD champions, all on the bottom side now. Geico getting involved in a scrap, but the Shen ultimate is going to end. It gets interrupted in the top side. Doesn't matter. That shield was pretty. And Bow Explode finds himself in the fountain for the 6th time in 10 minutes.
You know, I do often wonder, like, do you just let Shen teleport sometimes so he can get that free alone time with the turret?
I think in this game state, you would have. I don't know. It's tough, right?
They were gonna die anyway. I think you want Oriri to just go down there so you get more. You can get a bigger lead yourself, unless you're gonna get a kill on the Shen, of course.
Yeah, that's tough, and that's one of the elements of Captain's Draft that's so interesting, right? You're working with people that you don't normally communicate and work with. So I'm curious how much of that decision from Burst Limit to interrupt that is actually based on what's being communicated from the bottom lane versus what's just instinct. I see the Shen teleporting. I don't know what's happening. I need to stop it.
You know, at some point as well, Burst Limit's like, oh, I really got to help them. So they're already having a rough time. Let the Shen teleport down there. Is going to be bad news for them here. Swordblue is making his way up, trying to harass Utility Monster off of this rift. And, I mean, the bot lane's been roamed up. The strength of Rat is here. And now they're just going in for the engage. Utility Monster is still alive. The charm comes through. And wait a minute. Gecko does first. And they do not pick up that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I think that was really, really smartly played from Utility Monster. Just identifying, I'm dead, I'm going to drop all my abilities and grab the Rift Herald. Manages to get that, but then on the backside, oh, but Burst Limit wants a lot here. Swordblue's there to shut it down. And what was a win for a slight win for Antunes in that fight does kind of get mitigated by the kill on the top side. And you know, things are rough, but it's not entirely one-sided. It's pretty bleak. But we've seen Antunes do a lot to get back in. Now, Cowrie trying to find a big engage, will chunk Pure Llama down to about 40%, but not going to find that kill, and critical cooldowns burnt.
So I do think roaming up your bottom lane to that top side, there is no dragon for at least, at the time, like 3 or 4 minutes. And so might as well get them more plates. The top turret is there. That's just money waiting to be stolen away by Geico and Swordblue there. And I like what they're doing. They're going to power up Geico even more. Already has that first mythic and is looking pretty close on the second item as well. If Burst Limit's not careful here, could be throwing over a kill and further cementing Rat's lead and diminishing your own capability to carry.
Yeah, and honestly, they don't even need to kill Burst Limit here, right? They just need to get more gold onto Geico. The Gale Force combination with the fact that it's Xayah with the Featherstorm does...
oh, Riri. Oh, Riri.
Trying to get out, is going to get rooted up twice, knocked back into the team. And Navi, though,
oh, wait a minute,
doesn't have any damage with only the Noon Quiver in inventory. And it just makes things really tough. Now, Brian's like looking for an angle, doesn't find it. Not ready to go quite yet. And Antunes are finding some counterplay on this bottom side. They are going to knock down the tower. They're going to get plates back into that bottom lane, but completely suppressing Burst Limit on the top side is looking for an engage. Brian saying gets interrupted, and the Shen ulti means the Burst Limit can't find the kill. Cowrie's a little cut out, should be able to get out, just Zed things, and overall, Rat are going to stabilize the play.
Oh, Cowrie going for this here. Walks back in, has to flash out of the charm. Would have been certain death. However, a digress just barely touches him.
Oh my god!
Cowrie, she's got to get out of this one. Pure Llama, low HP, gets hit by 2 turret shots, and that's going to be the kill. What an outplay. Cowrie just playing it right on the knife's edge and walks that line. She survives, and now, I mean, 3-0 Zed with a 350 gold bounty.
That was some tactical inting. I gotta be completely honest. Stepping right back in to get hit by the Maokai ult just to then dodge the next 5 abilities and pick up that kill under tower. Oh, beautiful.
Okay. I see what you're doing here as we continue on this next dragon coming up in 20 seconds. And if we just look at the scoreline, 15-4, not looking good. If we look at the gold difference, 28k to 23k, not looking good. And if we just look at the individual 3.5k gold difference just on 80 carries alone, I mean, Rat, they are the ones to win this one. Bow Explode, how many times we're going to do this game? You don't win it again. The rock, paper, scissors. Navi, wait a minute, going for the kill. Geico goes low for another time, but it was just a bait as Brian gets the slingshot, and now is just bouncing around as Swordblue picks up another kill. That ultimate looks really sweet on that skin, but I have to say, it looks like he's going to have to turn tail here. Utility Monster Burst Limit, they are here and they're trying to challenge this mid prio Cowrie. Looks like they do have some CC set up. Burst Limit is going low, half HP. Now Cowrie also falls low, going in for the kill, uses the ultimate to dodge the Fate Sealed. What an outplay. Sword Blue gets away from Utility Monster. And, I mean, do Rat even lose anyone?
No, not at all. They completely outplay it. Cowrie being so clean on this end. Now we're scrapping around the dragon. Sword Blue is here to try and chunk out Utility Monster. Brian saying is going to go into Bloblets, and Bow Explode is a walking sack of 900 hit points, ready to give over another 150 gold over to the side of Rat.
Wait, well, how is Bow Explode worth 150 gold?
I have no idea.
That is
I have
a crime.
no idea.
What's the lower limit of a gold a champion can be worth?
I thought it was 50.
Yeah, someone needs to, maybe that one assist really just, I mean, Bo. I guess exploding for a reason here. So we have a 0 and 9 Senna. I mean, so far, if we just want to look about the overall gameplay from Rat here, they set Oriri in a really easy position to play the game. They have bot lane massively ahead, playing through their win condition of that Pyke Xayah. They win lane just on their own, no jungler attention. And with a little bit of assistance to Cowrie taking over in the mid lane as well. So, I mean, War Leader, it looks like this strategy from Rat pretty solid overall, and no response from Ant in this game.
Yeah, you really got to get back to the drawing board here if you're Ant Tunes, because this game, I mean, it's pretty over. They could try and find some counterplay here, trying to pick Oriri, but Oriri is really tanky, and even though they secure this kill, I mean, they surely secure this kill. It takes way too long.
The shed damage is crazy.
It takes way too long, but they are going to get the kill. That being said, it's looking pretty doomed at this point. There's about a 7,000 gold lead, 6,000 gold lead at 17 minutes into the game. What do Antunes need to look at in terms of their strategy to try and come back strong in game 2 if they can't find a way back in here?
Yeah, probably early FF is probably their best strategy. Save the mental. So we have Pure Llama lands the charm, gets the shutdown, and I mean we are getting excited for them fighting back. However, that's a drop in the bucket right now, as it looks like this Rift Herald's going to come in, sweep up this last turret in that top side here before that inhibitor. Brian goes in, and there's just no recourse for Pure Llama. Drops at this first engage from that slingshot. War Leader, I mean, it's starting. You said it wasn't totally one-sided here.
It's Oriri's moment to shine!
No, he's going to talk about this for weeks. Don't let him do
this. I love
ADC
in current year! It's so interactive! Look at all the spells Oriri's hitting!
Oh, he flashed for it! No! Hold up, he should not flash for it. Oriri, what are you doing?
No, it was so cool. It was so cool. It was a sick outplay. Did you see all the buttons on Oriri's keyboard that he had to hit?
All right, $5. Oriri puts that down as a highlight, and he's gonna make me watch it later. As we have here, Burst Limit in a bit of a pickle. I don't know if Sword Blue knows exactly where he is just yet, and now that's going to be full disclosure. Okay. They're going in on the Pyke, and now this is a bit of a split fight. Brian on Bow Explode, and now Burst Limit does E away, but he's going to pop right back into a lot of Rat's members there. Utility Monster trying to get away, but this is not looking too good, War Leader.
No,
hook goes wide.
It's really not. Utility Monster's trying to make a great escape, but it's just not going to happen as soon as Geico gets involved. So much damage coming out from the uber fed Xayah, who fully exploited every advantage in the bot lane that we expected this duo to. It's why they were my favorites to win the tournament from the outset. It's this bot lane that's proven so strong. But the unsung hero of this game, I think, has to be Cowrie in the mid lane, fighting so many advantages in what rank-wise is a pretty big mismatch in that mid lane.
Right. I do think that the 4th MVP goes to Antunes draft, because they really just made it easy for Rat to take over in the bot lane. I mean, this draft we highlighted, they're not going to be able to be safe from the engage of Rat. And we see multiple times, Brian, he just goes in unabated. No one's doing anything to stop the Zac engage, and then we see Sword Blue carry everyone just follow on top. And so, I mean, I'm saying it right here. It's a bit of a draft diff. I think it's pretty obvious in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because there's also a lot of skill difference too, but you can't ignore just the drafting. I think the Senna and Zarya are both very suspect picks.
Right.
Burst Limit wasn't able to find a big enough advantage in that top side, so I don't know if Yone is the pick going into the rest of the series.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to change up the draft order as well as a Riri. I mean, look, he does it on support. He does it on top lane as well.
Yeah.
He gets caught, but his team is in position to pick up the Baron. So Ariri can say in his mind that that was a good trade. Dragon coming up, but I'll be honest, Rat. I mean, you don't have to go for this. You really could just reset, win the game. This Dragon's inconsequential to the game at this moment. But it looks like they want to tussle here for this Dragon. Slingshot getting ready.
Here goes Brian. It gets stolen away from Utility Monster. The support smite's better than the jungler when it comes to UB members. Gaito, though, getting choked up, and a lot of damage comes out. Featherstorm out, tries to flash back, but Burst Limit's there first. Going to shut down, but Zed is in the base, hitting the Nexus towers. Burst Limit trying to get back in time. Cowrie's looking to end the game. Recall's trying to get channeled from the side of Antunes. Burst Limit does get back, and Cowrie is a little chunk, so probably not going to be able to finish the game. But Ariri and Sword Blue looking to interrupt Bow Explode, but now it's 3 versus 2. Ariri is so tanky in the middle. There's so little sustained damage from either team here, and Sword Blue trying to find a way to help, but there's just no way. Ariri trying to buy time, but Cowrie not able to find the angle 1 versus 2. Sword Blue is going to be able to get out, and there's just no damage. I mean, the fact that it takes Ariri that long to die is a good example of how this game is in such a dire state.
Well, all of the carries were back defending base there, and Ariri survives incredibly long time. So, all right, there's a little bit of int in the Rat, as that engage was not advisable. I guess they just wanted to show that their Dragon stats are insane. Sword Blue going for the solo on Pure Llama in the mid lane. Utility Monster going to interrupt that 1v1 as he gets the last hit. And so Sword Blue does not get a perfect score this game. Shame on him. Really should be no reason to die here. As the troll in the Rat. I mean, look, it is Ariri. It is Ariri on this team. Of course they overforce a Dragon. No reason to.
And a bit of a scrap in the mid lane. Said Bow explodes.
Wait, Cowrie.
For an 11th time. And Navi does find a kill before heading back to the fountain themselves. And I think everyone's just having fun at this point, right? Just kill people, have fun. I think this game was basically decided a long time ago. Any sort of coordinated play that Antunes have tried to put together, that never fully wins, and Pure Llama is going to get deleted by the long range engage. And I think Rat out of Krat have stopped playing around.
Yeah, they're definitely the kings of the Rift in game number 1 here. They're just going to go ahead and tank up that first turret. They don't really care about that HP bar on Ariri there. Disposable player. As that was interesting. Gets the Q right on the Utility Monster. Ariri holding him down. And it looks like they're actually going to try to disengage this. As the Maokai ultimate comes down, it's going to catch Ariri despite the body block from Brian Sang. And now Sword Blue got killed. I mean, they're 1,000 miles away. They knew that was going to be detrimental to go for that fight here. And, I mean, it's looking better from Ant, but I do think Rat are kind of just messing around, as you're saying.
Yeah, here's Geico, and goodbye. And the death mark comes in, and goodbye. And so then there's, you know, technically 3, more likely 2 remaining members of Antunes alive just to try and defend in the base. This 14-3 Xayah, this 8-2 Zed, this 5-1 Pike are gonna knock at the door, knock down more of the standing gold, and you know get that 100% completion.
That Pike ultimate is like a flashbang in my eyes. Every time he lands it and he gets the kill, it's like, where the hell did he go? He like ninja disappears.
Yeah, when he does it to you, it's like way bigger even. It like completely disrupts your screen when you die to it. It's honestly crazy.
Well, I'm
You
just
see
having a
like
hard
a
time
big mud
following it
hole.
as an observer here because, I mean, he also has the dust blade, so he kind of just disappears. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. We have a fight. This might be the first
Okay.
straight-up fight in the game here. Geico goes in. Look at this.
Whoa, Geico's
1v3.
deep.
However,
Throws
he's
the
going to jump
feathers.
first. And now Sword Blue just, it looks like he's just going for the end. The turret, it's on its last legs here. They're going to go turn around
Oh,
the fight.
no.
How cowering
There's
just
no damage.
deletes both explode on the back line. Brian saying he's tanking it up. Sword Blue gets burst limit here. Can he win this 1v1? Shield Bow gonna pop.
Has to
The
be set.
execute! And now the Sword Blue can turn it around. I think they're just waiting on the slingshot. Brian, he's disengaging for now. Sword Blue trying to avoid getting caught by a Navi. And it looks like Utility Monster does catch Brian. And the team fight goes into the favor of Ant here. I mean, that was a split fight. Really crazy. They do lose their turrets, though. And they have no inhibs war leader. So it's looking like one more fight. And even if Rat doesn't win, they're still going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, they knocked down another Nexus tower, fully exposed Nexus, nothing else on the map. Gonna retreat, pick up the dragon, try and pick up whoever shows up to it. There's no way they can get it down in time. Sword Blue's here. Sword Blue sees them. Dragon is actually getting chunked, and the teleport is going to come in from burst limit, and that is going to secure the third. Wait, okay, yeah. He's going to deny the Dragon Soul. I got scared for a second.
Brian stole one. Brian stole one.
Yeah. I was confused. There wasn't, of all the things going on, the Dragons were just kind of not on my mind with the sheer amount of kills, or in the case of Foe Explode deaths.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, it's the Dragons don't matter.
Right.
The map control, the gold. That's what's really in the driver's seat right here. They're going to go for their second Baron, and Rat, they're not cleanly closing out the game, and so that could be very important in the next game. We'll see if that becomes a factor. They have one inhib that have respawned for Ant, and it looks like a bit of a trap being set up. Utility Monster is Maokai. Very hard to catch this champion out, but it looks like they might have just done it here.
Gets hooked back into the team. Sun Ultimate does provide a little bit. Cowrie goes really deep, though, and dies. And now it's 5 versus 4 in this fight. And I think that Rat are actually going to have to retreat. Bow Explode is stepping really far forward. Gets chunked to half in one auto. Now Utility Monster's looking very deep. But the fight is split from the side of Rat between two fronts. And now as it converges into one, Sword Blue goes on a killing spree. Geico deftly dodging, but Burst Limit is gonna find him, and a Navi is here to clean up. This might be exactly what Antu's needed, but Sword Blue is looking to get sneaky and try and end the game. Teleport channeled from Biolana to try and get to the Nexus and stop the fight.
Oh, hits the
There's
screen.
so little damage. There's so many minions, and they're all wearing purple. And I don't think there's anything that Antu's get to stop it. And it was a bit of a fiesta, but Rat were in the driver's seat the whole game long.
Yeah, that was definitely Fiesta ending here. Sword Blue does save the game for Rat, because if they lose a couple more team fights like that, who knows what's going to happen here. As well, it'd be very funny if Chris got banned right here, but that did not happen. Well, look, we're figuring out the technology. We have experts on the case right now. As our producer's freaking out, me and War Leader, we're just going to stall for time, and I'm going to point that out to make it very obvious what's happening.
No, it's all good. At this point, we know what happened. You watched the game. It was domination. It was fun. It was silly. It was Captain's Draft. And we got hopefully 5 more of those games coming up after this throughout the day. So don't go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, nice. That's sick. Hell yeah. Mm.